What's up, No Shame Gang?
Hey, bitch.
It's your girl, Unapologetically Me, and today, guys, we back in my kitchen. Today's dinner is supposed to be meatloaf, homemade fried apples, boxed macaroni and cheese. So what I'm doing now, this is before I bought my Tupperware bowls, but I'm about ready to go and cut my ground beef open and get my meatloaf fixed up. Okay, so now that I got my meat in my pan, I got it all broke up, I'm gonna go ahead and crack my egg. Bird's eye view. Then this is the only seasoning I love to use it. I use it on everything. So I'm going to put a little of that. And y'all know about the good old Lee Perkins Worcestershire sauce. I growed up on that. So I put a little of that in there. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down. Y'all already know. Keep it clean. Keep it cute. Now that we got the sink all cleaned out, we're going to go ahead and get our vegetables in here. Our bell pepper, onions, green apples, tomatoes, all our vegetables. We're going to get them in the sink to get them rinsed off. I add a little baking soda to kill the pesticides that the farmers use when they're harvesting the fruits and vegetables. So that's what the baking soda is for. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and prep everything by getting everything chopped up and ready to be cooked. Okay, guys, I normally don't cut up tomatoes when I'm making meatloaf. I usually get the tomato sauce in the can, but I forgot it. So what my plan is to use the tomatoes, and I'm going to puree them in the blender. Okay, guys, where I messed up is when I put the water in there. I should have just blended them and left it at that.
It didn't quite turn out like I thought, but we're using it.
Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm just adding all my ingredients, my bell peppers, my onion, the tomato puree, and then we're going to go ahead and get that cut up. Bird's eye view. Looking delicious. Okay, guys, now I'm going to cut up about 3 to 4 pieces of bread. I normally use something like bread or oatmeal to keep it together, to help it form and, stick together. The egg does that too, but so does the bread. So then I'm adding a little bit more homemade tomato juice because it was a little dry. I'm going to go ahead and get it patted up. I always pat mine up into a big ball. If I'm making 2 loaves, I'll make 2 balls. But I'm only making 1, so because I like my meatloaf kind of thick. So I'm just getting it prepared. I'm going to go ahead and get it molded, and then we'll put it in the pan, and then we're going to pop it right in the oven. Now we got our meatloaf formed and in the pan. We're going to go ahead and get it covered and get it in the oven. Once we get the meatloaf in the oven, we're going to go ahead and jump right off into making the macaroni and cheese. Something plain, something simple, something good. Just boil you some water, put a little salt in the water, bring it to a boil. Once you bring it to a boil, you can go ahead and add your little oil of your choice. I chose Western canola because that's all I had. That keeps the noodles from sticking. You let them come to a boil. Once they're ready, you want to take them over to the sink. I rinse my noodles off. Some people don't, but I rinse mine. Once they're rinsed, you get it back to the stove. Get your salt and pepper in. Gonna get that stirred up really good. Once that's in, and you get that all stirred up, you're gonna add 2 dollops of butter. I use Blue Bonnet, that's my choice. Use whatever you like. Get that melted and stirred up. Then I add my milk. But I make sure my butter is melted first. Once I add my milk in, I don't cover it to the top like when I'm baking it. I just put a little bit in it to, get it wet. And then I stir that up. Now we're going to add our cheese sauce. Once we add the cheese sauce, we're going to get it stirred up. And it's pretty much done after that. Okay, once the cheese sauce is mixed up, y'all know your girl love cheese, so I got to go ahead and grate me up some cheese, and I add that in too. That gives it a little more thickness to the cheese instead of just being pasta and cheese. It gives it the cheese a little more thickness, and look at that, y'all. Look at that. On top of the stove. It may not look real cheesy, but it's cheesy. Y'all know your girl love cheese.
That's what good pussy sounds like.
Okay, checking on the meatloaf. It looked like it's almost done. So we're going to put that back in there. And I see y'all at the table. Boom.